Have you ever wanted a vintage watch, but you didn't want to deal with the headache of owning a vintage watch? Trust me, owning a vintage watch can be a massive migraine, and you don't even get the ability to wear it on a regular basis. One of the things that I do love about something like this Vario 1918 World War I trench watch, specifically the Pilot's Edition that we're going to look at here, is it uses all the modern materials, the modern movements, the durability, the reliability, and it gives you the appearance or the aesthetic of the original vintage watch. I think that Vario has given a very, very nice timepiece, and they've done it at a reasonable price. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Now, this is not going to be the first Vario I've ever looked at. I will leave a card right here for the Medic trench watch that I reviewed. Very, very, very lovely timepiece. Now, this thing is offered in two different variants. It's offered in the black enamel dial, yes, an enamel dial, and a white enamel dial. I do like the black, but I really understand why people like the white enamel dial. The white enamel dial just screams vintage, right? Sort of like the Cartier white dials on the Santos. There's just something about the white dial that looks wonderful. Well, I don't have a white dial, I only have the black dial, so keep that in mind. Please, before I hop into the video, hit the subscribe button. It's free, it really does help the channel. And as always, the details first, then I'll give you my opinion at the very end. The Vario 1918 Pilot is a reimagined World War I trench watch with upgraded specs such as a modern enamel dial, anti-reflective double dome crystal, a marine grade stainless steel case, thicker wired lugs for additional security, amazing leather bun strap, we'll talk about that, and an automatic movement inside the watch. Now, this watch pays tribute to wristwatches for men in the early 20th century when they began to modify the classic pocket watch into wristwatches for World War I. That's when wristwatches really started to make their mark in the community. So let's discuss first the specs of this watch, then I'll give you my overall impression and opinion at the very end. The specs of this watch is 40 millimeters in case diameter. The thickness is 10 millimeters. These are wired lugs. They are non-removable, so you kind of have to use their strap. 20 millimeters in lug width. The overall presentation of this watch is still going to be 40 millimeters because generally speaking, this is like a pocket watch that's been modified. A couple extra mils on each side for the wired lugs. Doesn't really make a difference in how it sits on your wrist. Again, marine grade 316L stainless steel brushed along the case, high polished bezel, double dome anti-reflective sapphire crystal. I had to do an entire setup to kind of do this slightly different because the way the anti-reflective double dome crystal sets, it's very hard to read under camera, very easy in person, outside, very hard in the studio. Inside this is a Miyota 8N33 hand-wound nickel movement with non-hacking seconds, 17 joules, beats at 21,600 vibrations an hour with slightly over 40 hours of power reserve. Again, water resistance for this one at 50 meters, so you can wear it every day, just try not to jump in the ocean. And on this is going to be a crazy horse leather, heavily oiled, very high quality bun strap. Now, bun straps are larger wearing straps on the wrist. You can see that there is at least a couple millimeters more of thickness, so it's going to sit more prominently on the wrist. However, if you've never worn a bun strap before, this is probably the most comfortable strap you'll ever wear. This isn't for suits. This is for, I'm in the field, I need something comfortable on my wrist, and a bun strap is where you go. It offers additional security because not only is it on the wired lugs, but then it's also secured on the third piece of leather that cuffs your wrist, like so. Now here's the watch on my 7¼ inch wrist. You can see that it does sit more prominently because there's more material underneath. However, you can see how it hugs the cuff of my wrist. This thing doesn't slide around at all, and it also isn't uncomfortable. Everybody who's worn a leather strap in the past knows that these things can be awfully tight or awfully loose. This thing is a perfect in between of those two things. Sits perfectly on the wrist, hugs the wrist perfectly on this like cuff that you see here. And this is meant for, again, in the field. You would look kind of weird if you were wearing a suit and you wanted to have this on. However, if you were in something like a leather jacket, this would fit perfectly. Vario does have other straps also available on their website if you're not a big fan of the brown. I know that they also offer the dial in white. So if that's your thing, go with the white. I like the black because it just reminds me more of a subdued military watch. However, the white enamel dial to me looks more vintage. So you have to choose. Do you want something more aesthetically pleasing like the white dial or something more military-esque like the black? Now, overall, I think Vario is offering a lot of quality for not a lot of dollar. I have dealt with Vario, like I said, in the past, and I have reviewed a couple of their watches, and I think they're offering pretty high quality, solid watches at an affordable price. A lot of people aren't going to like the Bund strap, but I'm telling you, and I said it in the video, that the Bund strap is one of the most comfortable straps you'll ever wear, ever. It just conforms to your wrist, and the longer and longer you wear the specific Bund strap, the more and more it's going to conform around the bones to your wrist, and it's going to be like a custom fitting strap. Truly, truly is comfortable. The only thing that I think that they should have done is they should have offered more water resistance. That's going to be the only con that I really see. I like the double dome sapphire crystal. I don't like how hard it was to video the actual hands-on portion of the review because of that double dome. You just see everything, right? Now in the light outside, it's not the case. It is viewed quite nicely. That being said, if you're going to have this as a trench watch, if you're going to have it as an outdoor watch, almost a field watch, this is a field pilot's watch, right? It should have at least 100 meters of water resistance. We're using modern technology. We're using vintage aesthetics. Why not have a screw down crown? Instead, it doesn't have a screw down crown. It just has a standard winding crown, which can be fine. However, I want to be able to wear this every single day. You have marine grade 316L stainless steel, but 50 meters of water resistance. So to me, I think that's really the only con that I see is they could have done a little bit better, offered 100 meters of water resistance. You don't have to have a screw down crown, just a better gasket system to offer improved water resistance, because this is a great field watch. But for a field watch, I'd want more than 50 meters of water resistance. That's the bare minimum. But I think that overall, this is a pretty damn good watch. Not good in a suit, great in a leather jacket. Now, what do you guys think about this Vario? Do you love it? Do you hate it? If you've stuck around this long, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It's free, really does help the channel. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below. This is All Things Random, mostly watch reviews with some random stuff sprinkled in between. I got some random stuff coming down the pipeline. I just got in a underwater scooter thruster because I love scuba diving. I love being in the water. So that's coming down the pipeline. I also have a few other things that I have on the list here. So leave a comment down below of some of the stuff you'd like to see, and I'll see you guys in the next one.